This time on Documentify TV. Around 13,000 years ago, in what's now Nova Scotia, people set up camp on a sandy, dune-like landscape and left behind something that still shocks archaeologists today. The place is called the Debert site, and it's been described as the oldest and the most extensive Paleo-Indian settlement discovered in the Canadian Maritimes. Here's the measurable part. Excavations recovered over 4,500 stone artifacts, tools, and the flakes made while shaping them. So what does a 13,000-year-old camp with thousands of stone artifacts actually look like? And what does it tell us about planning, travel, and survival at the end of the last ice age? Debert isn't one tiny spot. Archaeologists identified 11 separate living or working areas called Loci, spread across about 22 acres of sandy terrain. That's the first surprise. If these were small groups moving through the landscape, why return to the same place often enough to leave a footprint like this? The second surprise is the stone itself. Most tools were made from rhyolite and Chalcedony, materials that had to be sourced from geological formations miles away. So here's the core question. What kind of operation leaves 11 activity areas, thousands of stone pieces, and imported toolstone on a wind-blown sand ridge in Nova Scotia? Dating the occupation at about 10,600 years ago by uncalibrated radiocarbon, or roughly 13,000 calendar years ago, now zoom back in to the ground level evidence. Over 4,500 artifacts doesn't mean 4,500 finished weapons. It means a working landscape, tools, broken pieces, and the byproducts of toolmaking. That supports a simple idea. People weren't just passing through, they were working here. And there's something else at Debert that matters. Red ochre, an iron oxide pigment. The evidence is specific. Red ochre was found in association with the tools and occupation layers, straining soil and artifacts. Even more direct, stone grinders and anvils show tracing of crushing pigment, confirming on-site processing. So what was it for? We have to be careful here. Ochre can be used in many ways, practical and symbolic. But what we can say safely is this. The pigment wasn't just present, it was processed at the site. Context matters too. Debert sits in a periglacial environment, cold climate ground conditions, during a time when groups likely positioned themselves to intercept migrating caribou moving through the broader region. And then there's a constraint that shapes everything we can claim. Debert's soil is highly acidic, podzolic, so human bones and most unburned organic tools did not survive. That means no dramatic skeleton story, no preserved wood toolkit, no easy shortcuts. We're reading behavior from stone, soil, and traces. Put it all together, a major early site in the Maritimes, 11 discrete activity areas, over 22 acres, over 4,500 stone artifacts, imported toolstone, rhyolite, and chalcedony, ochre present and processed on site, and a harsh preservation environment that forces conservative interpretation. This doesn't look like a random stop. It looks like a place that mattered, revisited, worked, and organized. One more thing worth stating clearly. You may see big number claims online about Debert and Ochre, but we are not claiming a single massive tonnage cache at this site. What matters here is what the excavations actually reported. Ochre traces, processing tools, and thousands of stone artifacts across multiple loci. And today, the site is stewarded by the Mi'kmawey Debert Cultural Centre, emphasizing that this isn't just an early man story. This is ancestral history on living land. So if thousands of stone artifacts can survive 13,000 years in acidic sand, what else might still be out there, only visible once you know exactly what you're looking at? Before we wrap this up, there's one more question Debert forces us to ask. If this site preserved almost no bone, no wood, no organic tools at all, how many Ice Age camps disappeared completely? Because this wasn't a one-off. In New Mexico, archaeologists found human footprints 23,000 years old, and possibly older, but almost nothing else survived. No hearse, no tools, just tracks pressed into mud that shouldn't have kept them. If you want to see how fragile evidence can still change everything we know, then this investigation is waiting for you here, right on the screen. Because sometimes what matters most is what didn't survive. That's it for today's video, folks. See you next time, right here on Documentify TV.